What's up, YouTube? Shawn DaGamer here, and I just want to spend a little while talking about each show, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and how I feel they progressed a lot of character and uh, development for, Nia Jax, Tamina, and Nikki Cross. All three of those women were the main focus of each main event of, well, I should say Tamina and Carmella for SmackDown, but they were the main focus of each main event across these three shows for this week, which was a historic thing. All three shows were main evented by the women, and I had a chance this week to actually catch everything. I started a new job at FedEx. Hopefully, I won't be there too long. I got a couple of other job offers for a lot less stressful work. Working at FedEx ground, if you've been a package handler for any type of delivery service like UPS, FedEx, and whatever other service there is out there, you understand what it's like. I'm a loader, and I haven't unloaded anything, but I've been a loader for the trucks and things like that. Those big FedEx trucks you see on the highway, they're probably like double wide trailers or double trailers, and it's a lot of complicated work that actually goes into loading those things, and it's the most simplest thing and the most hardest thing at the same time. And I feel like I've lost at least 5 or 6 pounds already from working there, just like the week or two that I've been there. And it's better than any gym workout ever, but it's 5 days a week. You get the weekends off, and it's fun. At the same time, it's like super stressful. So hopefully I won't be there too long. So, and I'm gonna try to be more consistent with these videos. So if I have to make them like 3 o'clock in the morning, just to record and edit them in the morning before work, I will start doing that. Just so we can make sure we have content on the channel always. This whole like week, because I've been tired, I've been stressed out, and I've also been having car troubles. So just not a good week for me. So let me take a little sip of my drink, and then we'll be right back. So let's start off with Raw. Raw had a couple of fun things throughout the show, like the opening segment with Roman Reigns getting destroyed by Braun Strowman again. Like, he literally picked him up and threw him into the ambulance. That was funny. I laughed for at least a good 5 or 6 minutes. I laughed for the next 3 segments after that. And then we got to the Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar stuff. Paul Heyman cut a very good promo, like always. Then Brock Lesnar came out, and Samoa Joe pretty much tried to yoke him out on top of the stage. Then Brock Lesnar just started ramming him into the steel post, trying to break the clutch, but he really couldn't. People had to come out and break him up, and that was a very interesting segment too. Samoa Joe is just getting better and better by the week. He's looking stronger and stronger by the week too. Also, what else happened on Raw? We had the LeVar Ball and his family segment where his son just screamed out the N-word like twice, and it was hilarious. I rewound it like 15 times just to make sure I was hearing that correctly. But yes, he did say "beat that N's ass" like twice on WWE TV. That was crazy. Then we move on to the main event, which was a gauntlet match between the women to determine a new number one contender for Alexa Bliss at Great Balls of Fire. And it started off with Nia Jax versus Bayley. What happened to Bayley? Bayley from NXT, I didn't like her, but I can understand her struggle and her rise in NXT. But on Raw, I told y'all, if you go to Raw, it's a burial. Your career is ended. And that's pretty much what happened to Bayley. She was the first person eliminated in this match after like 5 minutes. Then it was Mickie James. Mickie James lasted like 5 or 6 minutes. Then it was Dana Brooke. She lasted like 30 seconds. Then Emma, she lasted like a minute or two. And then we finally got to Sasha Banks, and that was pretty much the match. It was a gauntlet match, but the whole thing was pretty much Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax, number one contenderships, which was a very, very good I think they went like another 10, 15 minutes around there. It was really, really good. I was hoping Nia Jax would probably get the win out. But, of course, Sasha Banks got the win, so she won on Raw. So she is the new number one contender for Alexa Bliss at Great Ball of Fire. My thoughts on that is pretty much, unless you've been watching 205 Live, you're like, Sasha Banks hasn't really done anything on Raw. She's been involved with the Cruiserweights and Alicia Fox, and all of a sudden, over the past couple of weeks, she's been getting back into the groove of things, and now she's number one contender. So, I really hope she gets fed to Alexa Bliss, because I think Alexa Bliss as champion is great, no matter what brand she's on. So, that's the first thing that happened this week. It was pretty much Raw in a nutshell. You had like 3 or 4 good segments. The ones I told you about, Samoa Joe, the opening segment. The LeVar Ball segment was so bad, and it was actually very entertaining. But you had some good matches on there too, like the 6-man tag with the Hardys and Finn Balor versus Sheamus and Cesaro and Elias Sampson. What was another match? I can't remember all the matches on Raw, but there was a couple of decent matches on Raw other than the Gauntlet match in those few segments. So that is Raw in a nutshell. Moving on to SmackDown, another thing, they had the good opening segment with Carmella, Ellsworth, and Shane McMahon. It was a few good matches on there as well. I can't, off the top of my head, I know Ty Dillinger wasn't there. There was a segment with AJ Styles saying I should be number one contender. Kevin Owens came in, yada yada yada. What were the matches? There was a Fashion Police segment that was really interesting. It was like, what was it? Fashion Vice, and they were at like Miami Vice. Then they had Connor and Victor of the Ascension in their in their interrogation room to see if they were the ones that destroyed their office. They offered them cheese and drinks and like tickets to something. Then I think Connor is the big one, and he was like, no, remember, we only listen to hardcore heavy metal thrash. I was like, what? And then there was this whole thing. They heard somebody destroying their office, so they went back in there. Then they went back into the green room after they found out, oh, it's not the Ascension. And they like took the tickets. They like, Connor and Victor, they like nodded at each other while they were eating the cheese. They slid the tickets. It was kind of funny. It's sad that I remember the segments, but I don't remember the matches on SmackDown at all. I don't remember the matches on SmackDown at all, except the women's Money in the Bank match. I think the Usos had a match with the Hype Bros, and the Usos won. It was a few things that happened on SmackDown. I just can't remember at the moment. I don't feel like going in and trying to find all that stuff. But moving on to the main event, since we're focused on the women, Money in the Bank, same 5 participants: Tamina, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Tamina, and Natty, Charlotte, Tamina, Becky Lynch, and Carmella. This is how I remember. Remember, 3 of them have family names. So you gotta remember the 3 with the family names first. Natty, Tamina, Charlotte. Becky Lynch is Becky Lynch, and then Carmella. It's just getting better and better by the week. This match went twice as long as the match at the actual pay-per-view, and it was a really good match. They didn't do a lot of, como se dice, high spots, but it was a lot of falling off the ladders, people getting hit by the ladders and things like that. At the end, it came down to Becky Lynch and Carmella. Tamina got taken out by everybody pretty much. Charlotte and Natalya pretty much eliminated themselves by brawling into the crowd. So that left James Ellsworth, because he was banned at the beginning of the night, but he came back into the arena, tried to get involved again. Becky Lynch stopped him, threw him off the ladder. He got hung on the ropes by his man parts, so he was taking out the match. So we thought Becky Lynch was going to win. Her and Carmella started scrambling up the ladder, fighting each other off the ladder. Becky Lynch landed wrong on one of those attempts to climb the ladder. One second. Like I was saying, Becky Lynch got caught. She hurt her leg. She came off the ladder. She landed wrong. Tweaked her leg. Then Carmella did the smartest thing ever. No disqualification, like she's been saying. popped her a few times with the chair, climbed the ladder, and she is again Miss Money in the Bank. I think that is the right decision. I don't think anybody else in the women's division needs the briefcase to cash in and win the title, because you can kind of make an argument for everybody else on the brand. Charlotte has done pretty much everything in the division. Natalya has the pedigree, and at any given moment, if they just wanted to push her, she can go. Tamina, she has the size and the dominance just to manhandle somebody like Carmella and some of the other petite women in the division. Becky Lynch, the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion, former for Four Horsemen, and she's just great in the ring. But Carmella really needed something, so if she did cash in and win, it'll be more believable, like cashing in after Naomi, whoever's the champion, had their match, and all that good stuff that comes along with Money in the Bank. So I think Carmella benefits the most out of having the briefcase for the women on the SmackDown Live brand. So moving on to NXT. NXT this week, we had a segment between William Regal, Heavy Machinery, and AOP. So in 2 weeks they're going to have a match. Then we had a video package. They're going to have a match for the tag team titles. Then next week we're going to have the world title on the line. Roderick Strong versus Bobby Roode. They had a couple of video packages for that. We had a match between the Velveteen Dream and Ho Ho Lun for the Cruiserweight Classic. The Velveteen Dream won with that with a flying elbow from the top rope. Then we had Hideo Itami versus Oni Lorcan. That match stopped and started. It started. Oni Lorcan went in with a fast uppercut and pretty much broke Itami's nose. So they had to cut away from a little while. They had to go help him out, stuff some cotton up his nose and some galls up his nose, get him back out there. And they continued the match, and after a GTS or two, I can't remember how many, Hideo Itami did beat Oni Lorcan. And then in the main event, we had Last Woman Standing, Asuka versus Nikki Cross. Oh my god, how can I say that? I love Nikki Cross. I love Nikki Cross and I love Asuka. And this is the match that I've wanted to see for a long time. If you watch any of my NXT talkabouts or reviews or speculations or anything like that, I've always said I've wanted to see Asuka versus Nikki Cross 1-on-1 with no disqualifications. Just let them beat the hell out of each other for a good 15 to 20 minutes, and that's exactly what I got here tonight. I just wish the crowd was a little bit more into it. They weren't bad, but they just weren't super like every second of the match like a NXT takeover or something like that. Also, Mauro Ranallo made his return to WWE. He is the lead commentator on NXT now, so it's him, Nigel McGuinness, and Percy Watson. Give me 1 second, please. Like I was saying, you have McGuinness, Ranallo, and Watson on NXT commentary now. It just needs to be McGuinness and Ranallo. Watson, no offense to him, but he just doesn't need to be there. Like I said, if he doesn't need to be there, get the color off my colored commentary. Like, I just feel like that's affirmative action right there. I really do. I don't care what nobody else says about it. Each show has a black person on the commentary booth. Why? It was fine when it was just white people or whatever they were at the time, like Taz and all that stuff. As long as they're good at their job, I don't care what race they are. I've always been like that. I don't care, especially something like this. I just don't need to see a random black person on the commentary booth just because we need more black people on the show. If you want to have more black people on the show, make one your world champion or something like that. Do something creative, or not the Velveteen Dream. You know what I'm saying? Or not R-Truth. You know what I'm saying? Just give us some good competitive black guys. Like, give us more Cedric Alexander. Give us more who else is black on the main roster? But that's actually, give us more Usos. They're not really black, but you get what I'm saying. Give us more actual in-ring competitors that we can look up to, and not just some random nerdy like black people on commentary. Like, I don't mind Booker T. Byron Saxton has grown on me just because he's there all the time. Percy Watson, he doesn't really say much, and when he does talk, he doesn't annoy me, so that's fine with me. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Asuka versus Nikki Cross, which was a great match. This match went about 20 minutes. The ending was crazy. In the match, there was a lot of high knees, kicks, swinging net breakers, chairs, tables. There was a ladder involved. It was just an all-around good match. I can't do this match justice by talking about it, but the ending spot was they started brawling by the commentator booth. Asuka got hit by Nikki Cross with a swinging net breaker. She had her feet on the barricade. She had Asuka's feet on the barricade and delivered a swinging net breaker to Asuka. Later out, she wanted to go set up the wrong type of table. It was like a plastic, like, picnic table. She wanted to go get one of those, or like one of those tables if you got a fancy cafeteria in your school. It's like one of those kind of tables. I was like, that's not the right kind of table. That's gonna hurt. And she went to go sit. She hit Asuka with a ladder, did all that, had Asuka incapacitated. Started climbing the ladder like she was gonna dive through the ladder. Asuka started climbing up the ladder, and then superplexed Nikki Cross off the ladder into the commentary table to get the 10 count, because it was last woman standing, so Asuka did retain the NXT Women's Championship. A lot of good stuff happening this week when it comes to the women, and I really just like how they highlighted all of the heels to be dominant. Like Nia Jax dominated. I know I said Tamina at the beginning of the video, but I didn't really talk about her in the match. Tamina did a lot of physicality. Well, she delivered a lot of physicality in her match, in the Money in the Bank match on SmackDown. She even had a spot where I believe it was Charlotte and Carmella or Charlotte and Natty on top of the ladder while she was propped under it, and she just lifted the ladder up and got both of them out the ring. So it was just a really, really good night for the heels women on this show. Nia Jax, she eliminated 4 out of her 5 opponents to make it to the finals, to fight Sasha Banks, and Nikki Cross just literally beat the hell out of Asuka and had a whole bunch of 9 counts, but could not actually pick up the victory over Asuka. So you had 2. I don't know what Asuka is. Asuka, you had a tweener, you had a heel, and you had a baby face. When it comes to the women, I feel like all the women were boosted just a little bit by this. So hopefully they can keep this momentum going forward. Over the weekend, I'll probably do another video tomorrow talking about Dragon Ball Z. They released a new poster that kind of teases Goku having a new form. We are finally this week about to start the Tournament of Power, the Tournament of Might, the Universal Survival arc. It is about to go down tomorrow. A lot of spoilers came out for the next few episodes, so we're going to talk about that. A preview for all the things coming up next week, and a lot of good stuff. So stay tuned to the channel for that. I know I'm not really posting a lot by the week, but as long as I get like 1 or 2 videos out, I don't want the channel to just be completely dry. Maybe 1 or 2 videos I'm going to try to post out. So with all that being said, I am Shawn DaGamer. Let me do my outro. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, all in the description below. If you're new here, please subscribe. Share the video out with your friends so they can get in on the conversation as well. And if you are a new subscriber here, please hit the bell button to be notified whenever a new video goes live on the channel. Comment down below with all your thoughts on all 3 of these matches, all 3 shows this week. What did you like? What did you didn't like? What was your favorite match of all 3 main events? I probably am going to go with Asuka versus Nikki Cross just because it was the most physical out of the 3, and it was the match that I've been looking forward to the most, even though I wish it was at a NXT TakeOver event. Whew. Now, leave a like because it always shows your support and all that good stuff. Everything linked in the description, like I just said, even a donation link for PayPal to help out the channel. All that being said, I am Shawn DaGamer, and I am out of here.